Just about 2 years ago, I did a review on the M340, but today we're stepping it up to an M3 competition X Drive because I had to find out what a real M car actually drive like and feel like. Today we're going to go over what makes the M3 special and if it's actually worth the extra added cost from an M340. Let's dive right in. Alright, under the hood we have a 3.0 liter twin turbocharged inline six that makes 523 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. BMW obviously underrates all their numbers, so you're actually pushing quite a bit more than what the numbers suggest. You can either get it in a rear-wheel drive or an X Drive, which is what we have today, and it is the option I would take because you can switch it between four-wheel drive sport, and you can just put all the power to the rear with the two-wheel drive mode. It is paired with a ZF 8-speed automatic, and it's not a dual clutch, but it is just as quick actually. It is extremely good, and this thing is equipped with a limited slip differential, so it is pretty fun, pretty playful. Even though it weighs almost 4,000 pounds, this LSD really lets you get that back end out. And with these M1 and M2 modes, you can configure exactly what you want. If you go in your setup menu, you have your M1 configuration, which you can configure, including the steering, the brake, the chassis, the transmission, and you can even control the amount of traction control from 1 to 10. That is a lot of customizability, which is one of the best things about BMW. There's a lot of tech, but it doesn't interfere with the fun. It actually just enhances it in a lot of ways. But let's just put it into our M2 mode, which is Sport plus everything. And we are in four-wheel drive sport, foot to the floor. Okay, this thing is freaking fast as hell. You get from 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds. That is insane. You are breaking traction with four-wheel drive. Yeah, this is supercar territory. This is so good. I love these paddles. They're so fast and so sharp. When you put it in your Sport Plus mode, you have a button here on your shifter to control how aggressive the shifts are, but we're just going to use the paddles because I think it's a bit more fun. We're in 5th gear right now at about 45 miles per hour. There's still so much torque on demand and ready to go. Let's just spin around here. Just a little bit sideways, even in four-wheel drive sport, but it doesn't let you kick out too much. If you want to do so, you can put it in two-wheel drive and do full-on burnouts and drifts, which is so fun. But with this MX Drive, you can just throw it back into full four-wheel drive mode again and have all the grip available. It is so predictable. I love the steering. It is much better than the M340 because it's just a bit numb in that car, whereas this doesn't have that much play. It's not overly heavy, but there's a good amount of feedback. And I love this D-bottom steering wheel with the red center line up top. Holy crap, this thing is amazing. You feel every bit of the road, just things that you actually want to feel. Like, it's not overly harsh and you don't feel like rocks and stuff, but man, is it connected. Especially the steering rack. It is so precise. It's not overly sensitive at the initial variation where it becomes hard to drive on the highway over a long period of time, but after you move beyond that, just how precise the steering is almost Porsche level good. It makes you really forget that you are in a 4,000 pound sedan. The graphics are also amazing, especially with this new iDrive 8.5. You can't really ask for more. Just entering this turn, power on the throttle. Yeah, you could get up to the speed limit or beyond that very quickly. I love how you can customize the brake feel. If you don't want it too aggressive for daily driving, you can just put it in comfort. And if you want it just a bit more sensitive for more aggressive driving like this, then this is absolutely perfect. The S58 is a serious piece of engineering. You get forged internals, you get a closed deck block, twin turbos, and it's built to handle way more power. There's tuners everywhere that are pushing over 700 horsepower on a stock internals with nothing much more than a downpipe and tune. It's basically the evolution of the legendary B58, but turned up in every single way. The M adaptive suspension is good because in comfort mode, it is pretty soft. You can just daily this car with no issues. And then if you want it to be stiffer, you can just quickly put it into Sport Plus mode. Again, I do really like these M1, M2 buttons. You don't have to take your hands off the wheel to change the drive mode. And while the S58 engine is the star of the show, the reality of owning an M3 is that it is still a 3 Series at heart, which means you're going to be daily driving this through rain, mud, snow, and everything in between. That's actually a perfect time to talk about today's sponsor, Lasfit. If you're like me, the last thing you want is the Toronto winter slush or track day dirt ruining the beautiful individual upholstery in your BMW, which is very expensive. I've been running these Lasfit Stealth Fit floor mats in my own cars, and the fitment is honestly OE+. They use a custom 3D scanning process, so they contour perfectly to the floor pans without that cheap plastic look. I also love how the edges are raised, so it keeps all that dirt and slush trapped in the floor mat and not on your carpet. They use a heavy-duty TPE material, which means they don't lose their shape in the heat or get brittle in the cold. If you want to protect your interior while keeping that premium M Sport look, check the link in the description and use my code for a discount. Now back to the video. The way this thing turns feels like it's on rails. You can actually feel the car working with you. It rotates you just from the middle, especially with this 50-50 weight distribution and with the limited slip differential and this amazing all-wheel drive. It is very confident, inspiring. It's very predictable in the corner, but it still gives you quite a bit of room to have fun. It's not just faster than the M340, it communicates way better. Every input feels mechanically precise, yet it still feels just as dailyable. It just feels like you are on rails. Brakes are good. The way it just yaws you right from the middle, especially with that LSD 50-50 weight distribution and this amazing all-wheel drive. So much confidence. You know you're not going to spin out if you have it in 4-wheel drive sport and the traction in MDM mode, because it kind of just fixes you and corrects you so that you're not oversteering or understeering too much. The traction management system is just incredible. It works with you and it doesn't take away from the fun. And yeah, this thing is pretty heavy. If you look it up, it is 4,000 pounds basically, but BMW Magic hides it really well. You would never guess that it weighs as much unless you actually just know. The balance, the steering feedback, and the chassis tuning is what makes this car truly special. And BMW is still one of those few brands that get the balance of performance and soul right. We do have a different grille and intake on in this car, so you can hear a bit more turbo noise than normal. I would definitely recommend it if you just want to hear your turbo more, and that blow off is just insane. This car sounds so good. Even with the stock exhaust, when you have your exhaust open, it is quite loud, at least for North America. I think in Europe they tame it quite a bit. The downshifts are good, and I love how each upshift you can feel that shift. Like it really just puts you in your seat. The deep burbles, the cracks, it makes you feel so alive. But my favorite part is still the induction noise. These transmission thuds. So damn good. Holy shit, this thing is freaking insane. Even though this car is packed full of tech, it still feels very mechanical. It still feels like a BMW M car should. Compared to the M340, it is much more alive. Even with more tech, it feels more analog to drive. You feel way more connected to the road. But one thing it does suffer on is fuel economy, if you care, I guess, for an M3 comp, because it averages about 19 miles per gallon on a good day, whereas the B58 averages about 26 miles per gallon, and you can easily get it to 30 miles per gallon on your daily commute. So if you do care, I guess the B58 on the M340 is the better choice, but just the way this drives, who cares about fuel economy? The M3 is definitely the car to get if you want the most fun. There's something about Skyscraper Gray that just hits different. It's not a color that screams for attention or begs you to look at it, but that's exactly why I love it. It's the ultimate if you know spec. To the average person, it's just another clean German sedan. To us, it's a 523 horsepower statement. When you line it up against an M340, the differences are technically subtle, but it changes the entire presence of the car. The wider hips, that unmistakable M stance, it's a design that's aging incredibly well. Looking at the renders for the next gen M3, I'm definitely leaning towards this look. I'm not entirely sold on the new gen BMW styling, so this feels a little bit more cohesive. Plus, you've got to love that wider hips on the M3. Honestly, the fitment from factory is almost perfect. You don't even have to touch it unless you want to lower it just a little bit. But in Toronto, with these horrible road conditions, I'd probably never touch it. The M wheels are a complete nightmare to clean, but they look so good, it's hard to stay mad at them. The OEM grille was swapped to this open style grille that a lot of M3 people swap out to. It clears up that entire front end, it makes it look more open, and you can actually see those intakes that were also swapped out. And you can actually hear the difference, especially in the turbo noises. So let's hear what this car sounds like with the valves open and closed. Stepping inside, the specs stay consistent with the exterior, functional and focused. While the M carbon buckets look incredible in photos, they aren't exactly practical for a daily. These standard M sport seats are plenty bolstered, way more adjustable, and actually comfortable. It makes this thing very easy to live with. The rear seats are actually functional. The trunk is massive, though you won't find a spare tire back here. Honestly, spending time with this layout makes me question why you'd even pick an M2 or an M4 other than the appearance. The M3 drives nearly identical, but you're not sacrificing any of the utility. The tech in here is a huge win between the 360 cameras, the dash cam, the digital key, and the seamless CarPlay and integration. Everything just works. BMW's UI is easily my favorite in the industry right now. The graphics are sharp, it never lags, and it doesn't feel cringy. Everything from the font to the menu design feels intentional and modern. It's much cleaner than the over-the-top graphics you see in certain brands. It's tech heavy, but everything serves a purpose. There's no random gizmos or buttons you'll never touch. The build quality is top notch, and I love that they skipped the flashy chrome and shiny trims. It's not trying to be a classic luxury, it's geared entirely towards performance and being modern, and that's what I love about the M3. Reliability wise, over the past 12,000 kilometers, knock on wood, but it's been flawless. No issues, no gremlins, nothing has gone wrong. It feels solid. My only real complaint is the horrendous fuel economy. I'm averaging 14.5 liters per 100 kilometers, which is about 16 miles per gallon since it left the factory. It is a thirsty car, and there's no way around that. Compare that to the M340, where I was averaging 27 miles per gallon, or about 8.7 liters per 100 kilometers over the lifetime of that car. The gap is massive, especially with the current fuel prices. It leads to the big question, is this car actually worth the $30,000 premium over an M340? For most people, truthfully, the answer is no. If you're just going about your A to B commute to work, the M340 is probably the smarter buy for everyday use. But for people who are actually going to be utilizing the extra power and the way this chassis handles, it is worth every single penny. Plus, how can you say no to those thick hips? The M3 competition isn't just faster than an M340, it is a completely different experience. The M340, yes, it gives you a taste of what M life feels like with an M Lite badge, but with an actual M car, you feel every input here, every gear change, every corner. It is absolutely addicting. And just the way this car is, rear end just wants to come out on you. I can't stop smiling. Yeah, you are just overwhelmed with emotions and adrenaline driving it. It is one of the few cars that will get my heart racing. Comparing a Tesla 0 to 60 time to a real performance car is, like I've said before, comparing a microwave to a barbecue grill. Yeah, it may cook a little bit faster, which it really doesn't, because this thing is wicked fast, but nobody wishes for a microwaved burger, and this will destroy a Model 3 performance in every single aspect, especially when it comes to just real, genuine excitement. And compared to other luxury cars with their fancy, shiny aluminum buttons and all the gizmos, yeah, it's not the most fancy car out there, but who gives a crap? Because you're buying an M3, you're buying it to drive it. You still get a very well-crafted interior with the best tech that you can get for the money. This is a car made for real enthusiasts. Everything in the interior is driver-orientated, easy to find, yet you still have all the bells and whistles and premium finishes that you find in a luxury car. BMW really nailed it with this generation. This might just be the last true great M car before everything goes hybrid or electric. If you love driving and want a car that makes you feel something every time you get behind the wheel, this is it. The M3 Competition. The ultimate version of the ultimate driving machine. That is all, guys. Thanks for watching.